Welcome everybody to Eco Physiotherapy Presents Health, Wellness, and Lifestyle. My name is Madeline Golick. I'm the owner of Eco Physiotherapy as well as a pelvic floor physiotherapist. And my guest today is Megan. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Madeline. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. So I thought maybe we would start off our conversation getting to know you a little bit to build context for our conversation today.
Great. So my name is Megan Day. I'm a certified life coach and a meditation instructor. I am the owner and founder of a company called Rooted and Vibrant, and I'm located in Burlington, although a lot of my services are virtual and over the phone.
Cool. What do you, so I only because I kind of know you a little bit, but what do you, because you do some other things on the side. You don't just do the like meditation life coaching, you also do some other things.
Yeah, so I'm a meditation instructor, but I'm also a yoga teacher, so I'm certified in that. I do a little bit of restorative yoga with my clients because it's all the holistic piece that I'm working with for my life coaching, so I incorporate that in. I also run some workshops, so I do a vision board workshop quarterly, and we try and mix it up a little bit by doing different things. We incorporate meditation there as well. We incorporate exercises that are life coaching exercises to get you thinking, so you're not just cutting, you're actually thinking about what you're doing beforehand. Makes it more powerful. And this time around, coming up in June, I'm incorporating some nature into it as well, like a walk in nature.
Nice.
So I like to do that kind of thing as well.
To change up the environment, and we know that that's really good for our brains and how we learn. So
absolutely.
So we're going to talk today about moms, because you and I were talking about it, you know, being a mom. Certainly there's challenges that we as women and as parents face when making decisions around work and career.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I wanted to ask you, in your coaching experience working with moms, what are some of the common challenges that working moms face?
So this is really near and dear to my heart, because that's really why I got into coaching myself. I was on maternity leave with my second daughter. I went through a postpartum depression period. I did get treatment for that, so I saw a counselor for that. But then after that, even though I was feeling a little bit better, I was still feeling very stuck in my life and feeling, very confused and overwhelmed as to what my next steps were going to be. Do I go back to work full time? Do I take a risk on myself and start a business and do something that I'm really passionate about? Or what do I do? So somehow, I don't know how the universe did this for me, but I came across a life coach through an email list that I was on. And I contacted her and I worked with her for a few months. And we talked about these things. And this is really where I got the courage to, say to my boss, I'm not coming back full time. I would like to work part time. I have a 10-year career in genetic counseling, so I have a background that's in like the health and wellness. And but I didn't want that anymore. It didn't have everything that I wanted, and it didn't afford me the opportunity to impact people in the way that I wanted as well.
Yeah.
So, working with my life coach, I got the courage to say, I would like to make a change here. I don't want to come back full time. I would like to come back part time. So that's what I ended up doing.
Yeah.
Going back 1 to 2 days a week. And then I wanted to start this business because I wanted to help other moms that were feeling this way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a lot of moms, I've done a lot of surveying, and my friends are moms. I'm in that world quite a bit because I'm a mom myself too. So I've done a lot of research about what moms want and what they're feeling, and that's a pretty common feeling, to feel stuck, to feel overwhelmed, to feel like you don't really have a lot of options.
Right.
And you don't really have anyone to talk about with those options, to really lay them out and explore, like, what are your passions? What are you good at? What do you want to do? How do you envision your life with your kids and your work? How does that balance look?
Yeah. So you mentioned that you survey, you've surveyed friends and other moms.
Yeah.
Anything that stands out, like most specifically?
Yeah. So the work-life balance is a big one that comes out. A lot of moms are stressed out. they feel like they're failing in the workplace and being a parent. You can't really win, right? I think it's a universal feeling of, the mom guilt and just feeling like you can never get ahead of what you're trying to do and make progress and be the best mom you want to be, but also be a good employee and good at what you do and make an impact on the world. So those were really common themes. Just feeling like you're letting everyone down.
Yeah.
You're feeling overwhelmed and stressed. And in turn, your relationship with your partner might be lacking or not where you would like it to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And your friends, too. A lot of moms tell me they're not having any fun. And it's kind of sad.
It's true, because you get overwhelmed. Just
time.
in your day-to-day,
Yeah.
house, family,
Yeah.
spouse, kids.
Yeah.
And then you have, like, the work part. And by the time you get home, you're just kind of like, I just want to have, like, some peace and quiet.
Yeah.
So you find that time gets... you don't dedicate it toward having fun.
Yeah.
Not realizing
You're just
necessarily that those things are re-energizing.
Yes.
Getting out of the house, getting out with friends, actually can give us a boost out of our day-to-day routine.
And that brings me to another really key point that comes up with these moms and myself. I mean, we're all looking for connection.
Yes.
And when you're so tired and you're just going home and you're sitting on the couch, you're not making those authentic connections with people, with your community, with other moms, with your friends, like you said. They're not necessarily moms, but other women, with your partner.
Yeah. It's hard to like schedule out the time and make the effort to make it happen.
Yeah.
But it can be so beneficial.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wanted to find out maybe you could talk about any topics that you like. What are some things that you talk about with these moms?
Yeah. So our first sessions are really about self-exploration. So trying to understand what parts of your life you're really not that happy with. So I give a lot of handouts that we start off with that will list all these different parts of your life. So your work and career, your finances, your family, your relationships, your health and wellness, your mental health, physical well-being. I'm trying to think what the other ones are, but all of these different things, and you basically rank them.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied or fulfilled are you with those areas of your life? And then we really pick out the lower scoring categories and flush those out. Okay, so what is going on in these categories of your life? Okay, what's happening in your relationship right now?
Yeah.
How is that working for you? How is that not serving you? How is that draining you of energy? And then really we work to improve that. So what are you looking for? What exactly would be a 10 on your scale of 1 to 10? And then how can we do that? So it's a process, and it starts off really fleshing it out, getting honest with yourself. What's going on?
Yeah, where are you?
Where are you
and
at?
I think,
Yeah.
I think with anything and with other discussions I've had with other guests on the show is self-awareness. Like, you can't, even though we might be aware somewhere in the back, hidden back there, like there's like this disconnect, this internal conflict that we know something in our life is not working, but until we bring it forth, like, whether it's get it on paper, say it out loud, put it on, a board or something, like until we can actually draw it out of the, the little corner somewhere in the back, it's hard to change, and it's hard to make the steps toward a change if you're not aware of it.
Yep. So when life is so busy, it's easy, that word, everybody says the buzzword autopilot, right?
Yes.
You just go on, you do what you have to do to take care of everyone and yourself as much as you can. You do what you do to get your work done, and you don't have time for self-reflection.
And it's super important in terms of that happiness piece, because we can envision a different type of life here and there, and we see that there's a disconnect between the two, and that creates a lot of internal conflict.
Yes.
Which can lead to all sorts of other problems in sorts of other areas.
Even your physical health, right?
Absolutely.
It can show up. Yeah.
And it can be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
With the internal conflict anyways can be quite uncomfortable.
that's usually what brings people to me, and that's really the breaking point where I was at. I was not happy. I wasn't being the mom I wanted to be. I wanted to be a happy mom. I wanted to be like joyful and show my kids some goodness in the world. But I was tired and I was sad and I wasn't excited about my future. And so I find that a lot of times with coaching, you're kind of at that as well. You're at that brink where, okay, things are okay, but, you know, like, I'm not happy with how it's going and I'm not jazzed up about things. And I don't know that I can show my kids and be a good role model for them if I'm like this. And so that's where coaching comes in and kind of tries to explore that with you. And as soon as you start making progress, it's energizing.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because this thought just sort of pops into my mind, because I've witnessed it in my own life that as soon as my daughter came into my life, that's really where I started to question things. Because I don't know, it was not just about me anymore. Yeah. It was about them too. And like you said, wanting to be a good role model. Yeah. And that, for me, was a high motivator to start looking at things that, you know, didn't feel good within myself. Yeah. Because I knew that if I wanted them to have a good life, I had to show them how. Exactly. And that started with me.
You're their key role model. And same with me. I mean, I wanted my kids to see life is joyful. Sure, we have everything we need, but, like, it's not a good example if I'm so frustrated all the time, or I'm not laughing with them, or I just can't even take the time to, like, tickle them.
Yeah, or just be mindfully present because my mind's in 50 other places.
Yeah, and that's where the meditation piece has really been beneficial as well for me and my clients, because it teaches that awareness. It's really training your mind to go back to its natural state and to be able to be where you are and experiencing what you're doing while you're doing it.
Yeah, I am absolutely astounded how impactful, you know, mindfulness really can be. But it's something that is practiced and you're learning it. It's because so many people will say to me, like, oh, I tried to meditate but my mind's all over the place. Well, of course
it is. It's supposed to be. That's right. That's the main thing I hear as well. And in fact, that's part of my instruction. Every time I guide someone, that's part of my instruction. I've been trained to say, you know, it's okay, you know, you're sitting here and your mind's going to continue thinking because that's what it does.
Absolutely.
And just try and let it go to the background. Let it fade in. Kind of like voices in the next room. Like, it's still running, going, but you can't exactly, you're not focusing on what they're saying.
Yeah, because you're trying to bring your focus back to the breath, or whether it's an imagery or a focal point. Yeah. And it's not a pass or fail.
No, it's a process.
Exactly. It's not a destination. Yeah. It's a journey. Yeah. And you know, if we turn it into a destination, then, you know, certainly you might feel like, oh well, I'm not good at this. Well, that takes practice.
It takes lots and lots of practice.
But it's also a part of rewiring our neurology. Yes. Like, that takes time. Yes. We have our autopilot, and it's so much easier just to go on autopilot rather than bring that awareness. And of course, I do that with my exercises with clients. I'm like, you first have to connect. Yes. Before you can really engage.
Strengthen. Yeah.
Right? So
absolutely. And actually, on that note, there's really neat things back, if you go back, because meditation is like 2,500 years old. So this is not a new, like, cutting edge thing, right? This has been around for thousands of years.
Yes.
And it's been documented to be beneficial over this long a time period. So it's amazing.
Yes.
But there's actually, if you go to temples in Thailand and that kind of thing, there's like paintings of the path of meditation, and it's like been charted out. Like, when you start out, your mind is kind of like a wild horse or like an untamed elephant. Like, there's this imagery. So it's kind of neat as you go. Like, other people before us have gone through this and they have experienced the same taming of their mind.
Yes. Yeah.
It's really cool.
Well, because they know they've been down that path, and you have to go down that path in order to experience, and sometimes you have to suspend a little bit of disbelief, right? Just you can go back to it afterwards, but give yourself the actual opportunity to spend some time with mindfulness or
Yeah.
yoga or whatever kind of self-awareness, self-connection. Spend some time with it, and then after a period of time, decide.
See how it serves you.
Yeah.
And go in with kind of no expectations as to what it's going to do, and kind of see where it goes, because a lot of the interesting things that happen from meditation happen not while you're sitting there, but in your life when you're off the cushion.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
So, kind of talking about the meditation piece, this kind of goes into a little bit of my other question is like, what are some exercises that you use with women to help them get more clear about what they want to do?
Yeah, so a lot of, again, laying the foundation for what is important to them. We talk a lot about values. So what in your life do you value? Do you value like your career plus a lot of free time with your kids? Do you value vacationing or travel, global travel, or, you know, like lots of these kinds of things, and we try and lay that out. So setting the foundation, and that's really where the name of my business comes from, the rooted piece.
Yes.
Root yourself in your values. And then we kind of build upon, well, what are your strengths and what has worked for you in the past? So I like to use the question, what comes naturally to you?
Yes.
And really think about that, because those are clues to what will give you a more easeful life.
Right, because it's something that you're passionate about, something that you're good at, and therefore your willingness to stick with it in a work career, whether it's starting a business or just working for a company or a cause or something. Because when those challenges in life come up, if it's rooted in if what you're doing is rooted in a value,
and it's in alignment with your values,
then it's going to. You know what I mean? It's going to work out with the least amount of internal conflict.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's really a lot of these powerful questioning pieces that I use during my coaching. The other thing I like to do is I like to get people to go outside themselves and ask people that are close to them, what are my superpowers, or what am I good at? Because sometimes you're so tunneled and like focused, or you don't fully see yourself the way that other people see you.
Yes.
And you don't give yourself the credit that maybe you deserve. And so that's kind of a neat exercise too, especially for confidence building. Asking your partner, your best friend, your sister, your brother, your mom, your dad, whatever, close people to you that know you really well. What would you see me doing in the world? Like, how do you see me making an impact?
Yes.
Or what do you think my superpowers are?
And it's amazing, because this isn't a new concept that I've picked up. I mean, in business coaching, Simon Sinek, learning your why. One of his I think exercises is like, go ask your friends, why are you friends with me?
Yeah. It's great.
You're going to get superficial answers at first, right? Like, you're friendly, you're nice, you're okay, but lots of people are friendly and nice. What is it specifically about me? And then, that person's really going to have to think about that. But then it begins to draw out some deeper values and experiences that helps me as the person gain insight into myself that I can't see it.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And that's why I like to call it superpowers, because I'm not just asking like why you like, your sister's going to say you're my sister, that's why I love you. Right? Like they're going to say, right, like you said, superficial answers, things. So let's try and dig like under that layer and like, what's my essence? Like, what is it about me that makes me different or unique or super?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so you use values, you get them to ask questions around others. Any other that you can think of?
There's a lot of different techniques. I have probably in my toolkit hundreds of things that I've used depending on the situation. But if somebody is looking for a new job, I've got special questionnaires about the workforce. Like, what is it about your job that you felt you were good at? What is it about your jobs in the past that you have done that you really succeeded at or did really well at?
Which can be important for the right fit.
Yeah.
Right? You could be applying for a job and you think this is my dream job, but what else in the environment, or like start to question a little bit, because it has to be a good fit on both ends, right? But what is it that you're looking for?
Right, because there's a lot of different workplace scenarios as well. Like, I mean, you could own your own business, you could work for a big company, you could be a contractor or a subcontractor. There's like all these different ways. So do you like to work more on your own, or do you like to work in a team, or do you like to work remotely, or do you like to work on site? So very specific questions about that too, so that you can really get down to the root of you know, what are your preferences and what's going to be better for you in the long run.
And I can see that being really helpful in saving time and energy and frustration by taking the time to really get to know yourself and what you're good at, what energizes you about a work thing, rather than doing a trial and error, which can have a whole slew of frustrations, financial stress, relationship stress, home stress.
Absolutely.
So being able to navigate, to be clear about what you want to do next can be so valuable.
And then we eventually have to get to what are you going to do next? And so we'll flush it out.
Right.
We'll kind of like brainstorm. That's a big thing that we'll use too. Trying to draw out from them, because I'm a coach, so I'm not a consultant or anything like that. The difference there is that coaching brings the answers out of you.
Yes.
So you're your own expert. If I was a consultant, I would rather be the expert, and I would be telling you kind of like what to do, right?
Yes, okay.
In order to make progress. But as a coach, it's more of guiding and asking those powerful questions that draw out that information from you. So I create a huge list with my clients about things that they would like to add to their lives, or things that they would like to pursue or explore. And it can get really wild. Like, it doesn't have to be a commitment list. This is just a list of like whatever comes to mind.
Yes.
Whether you want to like practice being a clown, or you want to practice like riding your bike more, or, you know, like all of these different things you can incorporate into your life. And then from there we can kind of select which ones you would actually like to do.
Yes.
Research it a little bit.
Yes.
And then figure out what your next step is. So you're going to call...
Take the action.
Yeah. You're going to go to the bike store and get a bike?
Yeah.
Are you going to save your money to buy one? Are you going to look on Kijiji for a new bike?
Yes.
So we kind of come up with these things on our own, but small bite sizes, so that you can get those wins right away.
Yeah. Take those actions to be able
get the momentum going.
Right. Okay. If you could give one tip right now to women, what would it be?
So I think something that's really important from all that I've learned is that you're not alone. You're not the only one that's feeling this way. This is a very common feeling to have, and you can get through it because the answers are inside of you.
That is a really great point. And I think it's something that also, like, in my shows has come out as well. Like, we have the tools within ourselves. We just might not know how to get them out, right? And that's where, you know, different professionals are there to help get you to your most ideal. It's all there. And you know, it's important to say that we're not here to do it for you. We're here to guide you through this journey, and that's where you're going to get the most successful results. Because if I do it for you, you don't develop the skills and the baseline to be able to take that learning forward into other aspects of your life.
And you also don't feel the accomplishment of doing that yourself.
Yes.
So if somebody else is just doing it for you, you're not feeling that win. You're not getting that confidence. You're not, you know, doing something that's necessarily true to you.
And I almost wonder if it has an impact on, like, the release of your endorphins and dopamine. Like, you know, when you succeed at doing something, you feel accomplished. You feel pleasure. Which makes you then want to do that more. But if somebody does that for you, I wonder, it might not necessarily have the same impact. So it makes it easier to go back into default mode, because it's like, well, it wasn't really that different.
Yeah, it didn't feel that good. Yeah.
And so this is how how sometimes people can get stuck, because they'll try a couple things with people who are trying to, you know, do it for them, rather than give them the tools to be able to address whatever it is they're facing, so that they can experience it themselves.
And it's pretty powerful.
Yes. Very, very powerful.
And I love it, because a person can come to me and be so downtrodden, and then after we work with each other for a little while, you can see things change. Their perspective changes on life.
Yes.
They get, even the way that they speak about something, they're excited.
And it's rewarding.
It is.
You know, to be on that
both of
side.
us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what we want. We want both people to feel like they've made an impact, that they're contributing, that they're moving forward. And I think that's what we as humans want to do, is feel like we're making a contribution, we're making an impact, we're here for more than just doing the dishes, or, you know, more than just our day-to-day routine. We're here for something greater, almost greater than ourselves.
Absolutely.
So this has been a really interesting conversation. It kind of like took its own little windy road, but I love it. I love it. That's why I write questions down to be like, well, if we can't stay on the road,
we could talk for hours.
Yeah, it's to keep, you know, kind of keep it straight line, but I like to give it free flowing, because you never know what comes out, and whatever message needs to come out to somebody is going to come out. So thank you so much for coming on the show, and maybe we'll have to do like a take 2 in the future, and of course
anytime.
And of course, to our viewers, we will present Megan's contact info at the end of the video, as well as in the description. So if you have questions, you want to, you know, chat with her, all that information will be there at the end of the video or in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. So thank you again, and thank you all for watching. Till next time, take care.
Bye.